Once disclosure occurs, either by a government or the visitors themselves, the next question people will ask is why are the aliens coming here and what do they want? This, in my opinion, has already been adequately answered in the Allies of Humanity briefings. Beyond this, another set of questions loom. Humanity has only evolved to deal with itself. It has never had to deal with other forms of intelligent life, particularly other forms of intelligent life that carry a great power and ability, not only technologically, but in the mental environment. Because we are unskilled in dealing with foreign powers in the universe, we have not yet cultivated the necessary discernment that is required to discern the nature and intentions of a race that only looks different, but is different in many other ways. They may think differently, they may have different values, they might have different priorities, they might have different traditions, they might have a different social structure, a different history, a different well of experience. Within all of this is the introduction of powers and races from beyond one's district that are providing opportunities for trade. Again, more questions loom. How do you regard them? Who are they? If their homeworld is beyond the normal reach of your travel, how do you find out about them? Should you include them in your network, or should you exclude them? Are they truly beneficial or not? Do they pose a risk of biological contamination, and if so, how can that contamination be counteracted? What are their strengths and weaknesses? What are their intentions? If they represent an entire other district of organised states, what is the organisation of that? What are the influences there? What are the powers that exist there? What is their strength in the mental environment and so forth? You can see it becomes very complex. Humanity has not yet learned that the power in the universe is power in the mental environment. It still thinks of power in the universe as empires conquering and destroying one another. This represents a child's view of the universe. Mental persuasion within our own race is one thing, but between races that are dissimilar, it is entirely another matter. Your logic and reason may not work at all with them. Your ability to rationalise with them may be extremely limited. What they value and what you value may be entirely different. They may have a particular traditional persuasion or set of anxieties that are very unique to their history and circumstances. The power of persuasion and perception then becomes the focal point, knowing what others are doing, perceiving their activities, trying to discern their secrets and their technological developments, discerning their intentions, discerning their communications and discerning their diplomacy, all become a great emphasis now. For this reason, many nations have cultivated a special class of citizens, individuals, called seers. These individuals are not developed spiritually, but they have great skill in the mental environment. Their role is to see, to discern and to interpret. In normal trade negotiations, what is written and what is said have to be interpreted very clearly. The long-range implications have to be discerned. The advantages and disadvantages have to be clarified. It's a matter of great importance. While outright lying and cheating on a large scale may be rare, subtle manipulations are ever present. Nations not only want to discern one another's intentions and capabilities, but also to discern one another's secrets, unspoken agendas and long-range plans. Locators. Locators are a very special class of seers that focus entirely upon locating facilities and pinpointing specific areas and activities within a nation. You could liken them to remote viewers. This has been developed to a very high degree to fight crime, for example, to deal with insurrections and to deal with the problem of illegal drugs, which is a real problem in many nations. Locators are very important. If another nation has a secret facility and it is recognised that such a facility either actually exists or may probably exist, locators are brought immediately to try and discern its precise location. Because visitation to other worlds is highly restricted, except between nations that have had long-standing and compatible relationships with one another, the function of locators becomes ever more significant. It is a specialised talent. Then there are seers who specialise as interpreters. They will travel with diplomatic missions, serving to interpret not the language of another race, but its intention, its honesty, the truth of its statements, its strengths, its weaknesses, its anxieties, its concerns and its insecurities. The mental environment is the environment of thought and influence. Into this environment, not only do you direct your thinking towards certain individuals, you also create thought forms. Thought forms are potent, organised thoughts that can have an influence on the thinking and the emotions of others. They are not real physical objects, but they act in a way that is similar to an object. I hope this brief documentary has given you an insight into the complexity of communicating with other civilizations. The most powerful insight for me is how the power in the mental environment extends beyond the range of technological capability and enters a new panorama of power and influence. The questions posed in this documentary are all from Marshall Vian Summers' excellent book, Life in the Universe.